From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Braden Neville.
On today's show, multiple Ticats are on this week's CFL Honor Roll, and we hear from James Butler and Casey Sayles. Coach O discusses how much we could see Bo Levi Mitchell play this weekend, and we get to know one of the newest additions to the Ticats, Jamal Davis. It's Wednesday, October 4th, 2023, and you're listening to Ticats Today. The Ticats were back at practice today for day 2 of the weekend. It was a spicy one out there today. I'm not complaining. I like the hot weather, so I'll take as many of these days as I can get, especially now that we're in October. It feels more like August, but like I said, I don't mind. A couple Ticats heated up in the game against the Stamps and were awarded for their efforts by the CFL as members of the CFL Honor Roll. James Butler won yet again another honor as the highest-rated running back, and we will hear from him in just a little bit. This is the third time this season he got the honor, and he's also inching closer and closer to that 1,000-yard rushing mark for the second straight season. Brandon Revenberg was the top-rated O-lineman with a 75.4 rating. Always efficient, especially in these advanced analytics, and it's a guy we've been used to seeing on that honor roll. Casey Sayles added another honor to his resume, and he's been outstanding for the Ticats this season and came in as the top-rated D lineman with a 79.4. Coach O spoke about those guys getting recognition and more following today's practice.
Well, we talk about Casey every week internally. I think it's just that he's finally getting some recognition on the outside. He's just turn the tape on. If you're actually watching the tape, and that's not a slight to any other D lineman. He's a pro. He fits right in. He's not the most vocal guy, but he has fun. Players, his teammates, everybody around him respect him. He's just been not just a welcomed addition, but he's pulled more than his weight here with us so far.
James Butler's approaching a milestone that hasn't been done here since Cobb did it in 2010, and that's 1,000 yards rushing. Has he come as advertised as well? I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but what have you really seen from him, and especially over this last stretch here?
Same thing as Casey. He's a pro. Comes to work every day. He's assimilated nicely to our environment, our culture, and added value to it, the same way Casey has. And he just works hard. And when players like that get rewarded and recognized, I'm not surprised. I know the first thing is they don't do it for that. They want to play football. They sign up for a team sport. They want to win. We're grateful and happy that they chose us, but they've produced. And I think the cool thing about, Butler and Casey alike is they're not satisfied. Yeah, sure, they may be happy with some of their performances, but they come to work, they play through pain. I can't say enough great things about either one of them. And so the fact that Butler, will achieve the 1,000 yards and it hasn't been done, yeah, that's something to reflect on at the end of the season and whatnot. But he's the ultimate team guy.
Back to Coach O in just a second, but if you can remember all the way back to yesterday, Bo Levi Mitchell is back at practice. It was the big news. It's the news around the CFL, and Coach touched on his status today.
Yeah, and I just reflect on yesterday first. Extremely accurate. The other stuff just comes natural. Control of the huddle, the tempo, holding people accountable, him holding himself accountable, accepting coaching, meeting. All those things have never left. But I thought he was extremely accurate yesterday. Today, it's a different emphasis. It's not as much 1st and 10. We're on to second down. And so, less explosions and whatnot, but a lot of moving the sticks today. And again, we're sharing reps too. So it's not like he's in a flow the whole time. I thought Matt's done a great job also. But yeah, pleased with Bo's progress. Yeah, I think it's small, but I'm never going to say not. He'll likely suit. Again, we're just not rushing anything at this point in time, but you have to get live reps, right? And that's hard to do during the regular season. It's hard to get 2 quarterbacks prepared, but this is a direction we decided to go, and we talked to the quarterback room. Everybody's well aware of what could happen. Any 3 of them could be up, and then we'll decide here after day 3. To sit there and say that, you wouldn't rather have, is Bo going to do a lot of running once he comes back? No. I mean, Schultz is probably going to do a little bit more of that. Loxley brings a certain thing to the table. Taylor brings a certain skill set to the table. So I think it's just about making sure they're prepared and comfortable with the plays that they may run if they enter the game.
That was Coach O. I mentioned James Butler being on this week's honor roll yet again, but at this point, it's almost expected. He's the guy who's going to be on that honor roll, or at least very close. But James Butler is looking to do something next game that hasn't been done in Hamilton since 2010, and that was by then running back DeAndre Cobb, and that's have 1,000 yards rushing. So it's actually wild to think it's been that long, but JB needs 58 yards in order to hit the milestone, and spoke today about potentially doing that in Saskatchewan and getting honored yet again.
Honestly, I was a little surprised. You know what I'm saying? I watched Brady's game, and I thought he went crazy, so it was cool. But obviously, it's a cool graphic that my mama can post on Facebook.
And you're approaching a milestone that's pretty big and something you've done before. Well, last year you did it, but you're approaching 1,000 yards. But that hasn't been done here in Hamilton since 2010. Is that something that you set your sights on at the beginning of the season, a goal that you felt that you could reach again?
I love to set my goals super high. You know, I set crazy goals last year. I was able to hit them. I set crazy, even bigger goals this year, and I'm still trying to reach for them. So just anytime I feel like I'd rather set my goals crazy high and reach for that than set small goals. So obviously, you know, I hope we do it for the O-line and for everybody. And obviously, it's been a long time since there's been that here. So, you know, whatever we can do to make it happen.
Well, Levi Mitchell made his return to the field yesterday. How's it been getting him back out there and him both as a leader and as a player?
It's good, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, he has that veteran presence that we've kind of been missing for a while now, you know what I'm saying? You know, so much, you know, up and down with all the positions, but it's always good to have him out there. You know, he's excited, positive energy, so you know, we're excited. We just got to execute, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, this week we've been working a lot on silent count and just trying to all get on the same page. You know, every quarterback's cadence is a little bit different, so it's just working on silent count, working on our no huddle, our one word. So just things of that nature, just whatever we can to try to combat that noise. But to me, that's exciting. You know what I'm saying? That's how football's supposed to be played. I love playing the sash. You know, they're going to be loud, they're going to be excited, so it's going to be a great atmosphere.
That was James Butler. Casey Sayles was another one of those honor roll guys for the weekend. He's just been silently one of the biggest signings for the Ticats this year, doing his job night in and night out. Casey spoke about getting the honor and staying on task in this final 3-game stretch.
Yeah, it's great to be noticed and everything, but yeah, I mean, D-line played well together, including the linebackers and secondary, kind of made it all kind of work well together. So everyone around me really helped me out a lot on that, and you know, just kind of got to keep going at the end of the day with last three games and going in playoffs, and hoping we get that home playoff game. So.
What's kind of your message with that group, and especially with only 3 games remaining? You're in a playoff push here. You've already clinched a spot, but you're looking to get that home field advantage. What's the message here in the room?
Just keep going. You know, we got a bye week in, I think, 2 weeks or so. So right now, just kind of getting after it physically wise on the field, and you know, staying in the weight room, staying healthy. That's kind of the biggest thing once you get to this stretch of the you know, our schedule, this type of time of the year. Just staying healthy, and you know, this is where a lot of the nicks and everything kind of started adding up. So just kind of keep grinding, keep your head down, and you know, keep getting after it each week. So
those fans in Saskatchewan can get pretty rowdy. It's not the easiest place to play on the road. You've had a lot of experience in your time in Winnipeg playing there, but what's it like playing as the road team in Saskatchewan, especially in a game that means a lot in the terms of the playoff mix?
Yeah, it's not as bad as on defense. It's not as loud, obviously. So, yeah, you know, being in Winnipeg the last 2 years, I know how loud it gets there when you know, our offense was on the field. So it's a great environment, though. It's I mean, one of the best stadiums in the CFL. So I always have a fun time playing there. It's you know, it's one of those cities that, you know, there's really not much to do realistically besides that. You know, coming from Nebraska, I know how, you know, basketball is the same type of thing. So, you know, the fans are all in there, and you know, fans want them to win. You know, good or bad. You know, they're going to let them know, and you know, I think they're, you know, a game or two away from playoffs, and you know, whatever it is. But yeah, they're needing to win, and you know, they're willing to do anything to, you know, kind of get that W on their schedule there.
What can you say about their offense and that young quarterback, and such a big quarterback? He's 6'7", 245, but going up against him and the rest of that offense?
Yeah, you know, he's had a few good games, and you know, he's had some good plays, you know, that we've seen on film. So it's really just kind of doing our plays, you know, play at a time. And you know, number one, you know, as a D lineman, like I said before, it's, you know, stop the run and go from there. They've got some good backs, and I know they've had a few nicks and injuries at O line, but you know, same type of thing, kind of week in, week out. Got to do that and stop that first, and then kind of from there, kind of get out of the pass rusher. But yeah, I think he's, you know, 6'8", 6'7", you know, like the bigger quarterbacks there, it seems like. But yeah, he's he knows what he's doing. He's been in the NFL, so just got to do a play at a time and get after it. So, I mean, it's huge, man. If you can get the quarterback's feet moving a little bit, even if it's just kind of a quick step this or that way, forward, back. It's get him his eyes moving around a little bit more than off the wide receiver and has a lineman kind of rush into his face, especially being a defensive tackle, my position. Sometimes those ends, obviously you got a left side, blind side tackle that might not necessarily see, but especially when you get front pressure on some of the quarterbacks, they might take a quick peek and get off their wide receiver route or whatever you want to call it, but it's big. It's getting that frontal pressure, especially as a defensive tackle, is going to be huge, regardless of quarterback or not. I know he's 6'7", 6'8", like I said, and he can look over those guys a little bit easier than most, but he's still going to feel that a little bit, and just at the end of the day, just got to kind of keep getting after it.
That was Casey Sayles, one of the newest Ticats. Jamal Davis had a solid first game for the team on Saturday night, and his first tackle as a Ticat just happened to be a sack. So talk about making a good first impression. I wanted to get to know the newest Ticat when we sat down today.
Man, well, I fell in love with the sport of football when I was 8 years old. I used to, play in the yard with my two brothers. I got an older brother and a little brother, so we're all close in age, and I'm the middle child, so used to go out in the yard and, play around all the time. And, your parents got to sign you up for football. Yeah. So when I'm 8 years old, my mom is just outside watching us, and she was like, she told my dad, she told me the story. She told my dad that, wow, your son is real good. Like, he's really good. You got to come see him. And she was like, he can't play football. So my dad kind of doubted me at first. But then so then he actually came out and I didn't even know he was out there one day, and he seen me play, and he liked it, what he seen, and he asked me if I wanted to play. I'll never forget. We were in his car driving somewhere, and he asked me if I wanted to play, and I said, yeah. And he was like, if I sign you up, you can't quit. So I agreed, and I've been playing ever since 2003. I haven't took a year off.
And once when you were in high school, at what point did you know, there's a good chance I can play college ball here?
Oh, man. Probably. I mean, my whole life, though, my mom and dad were on me. They knew I was pretty good, so they were always on me. So I feel like probably earlier than high school, I knew I could go far with it. But once high school came and I started as a true sophomore on varsity, was a 3-year starter on varsity, I really knew, okay, this is getting crazy. After the offers start rolling in and Division I offers and visits and stuff, it really became real life. So I was happy.
And how did you make that decision in college of where you were going to go? Was it how close it was to home, or what was the reason for you going?
Okay, yeah, the process was kind of tough. It was tough, actually, because I wanted to stay closer to home, so my parents could come to the games and stuff. But I also wanted to, see what it was around that was further, too. So I took a few visits, about 5 to 6 visits, and came down that I wanted to go to Pitt. It wasn't too far from home, being from Canton, Ohio. Went to the University of Pittsburgh, and then I transferred after 2 years and went to the University of Akron. So, great experience.
There was some NFL camps in between there, but at what point did you see the CFL as an option for you?
Oh man, yeah. So CFL came. So I came into CFL 2021. Came in as a rookie to NFL 2019. So 2019 and 2020, when I was kind of up and down, on the practice squads and. I was active for 3 games for Miami. I, just made the decision. I talked to my parents and talked to my agent, and I just wanted to, really play and be a factor. And, I believe in myself, and I didn't want to continue to sit around and wait for a phone call from the NFL. So, got the CFL opportunity and took it and ran with it, and now I'm here. So.
Did you know much about the CFL beforehand? Northern United States,
I knew a lot about it. Yeah, my entire life I've always heard about the CFL. Even being from the United States, I've heard about it a lot, and it was always an option coming out of college. It was always something that was on my head, in the back of my head, that could happen, and I'm glad it did.
At what point did you get your first break, that first moment for you in the CFL, where you maybe, I don't know if it's your first play or that first, hey, I'm a pro here, I'm in Canada playing professional football. When did you realize that, okay, I'm in the league here?
Yeah, as soon as I touched down, I was like, wow, and it was so different to me. Canada was different, and I was just like, wow, I really like it up here, and if I could get my feet under me and really get some playing time, I feel like I can do my thing. And That's what I did in 21. I played 9 games. So I was on practice squad for about 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was at COVID, coming off a COVID season.
A weird year that year.
Yeah, so it was only like 14 weeks. And, yeah, man, once I got my first opportunity, I got a sack and a few tackles. And the next game, I got 2 sacks. So after that, it was up.
Kind of started how you started here.
Yeah.
You just like to come out with a bang.
Yeah.
When you're not playing football, what are you doing?
Man, probably video games.
Yeah.
Talking to family. I'm a family guy, man. I love talking to my parents, catching up with my siblings and, my aunties and everything. And I also like watching movies.
Yeah.
I work out a lot, too. Even if I'm not in a facility, I work out at home.
Getting into work?
Oh, yeah.
What movies are you watching? Like, what's your show or TV
Comedy.
shows? Comedy
I
guy?
love comedy,
Okay.
bro. I'm not really too into scary movies and horror movies. I'm, terrified of those. I don't like those. But I like comedy, thriller, action.
What's the number one comedy?
Probably Step Brothers.
Dude, Step Brothers. I was just having this conversation with somebody.
I love
Step Brothers
and
Superbad are my top 2.
Superbad is crazy.
Man, that's so funny.
I love it. Anything in what is it? Will Ferrell is in. Anything he's in. Anything Jim Carrey is in.
So here's another argument I had with someone earlier.
Yeah.
90s Adam Sandler or 2000s Will Ferrell?
Ooh, that's a great one.
It's a tough question.
It is.
And I just had this conversation with someone.
I gotta go with Will Ferrell, man.
Yeah. I agree.
He's funny, man. He's funny. I feel like Adam Sandler, he's funny too, but he's more dry funny.
Yes. No, they're both great. They're both great
amazing.
at their craft,
Yeah.
But that's a tough question.
It's a tough question.
I think a lot of people need to be asked that. But
yeah.
I want to get back to football, here. You're now in a playoff mix. Well, you've already made the playoffs, but you're looking to get that home field advantage. And,
yes.
It's 3 games remaining. Montreal and you are both looking to get home field. But what does this team need to do to worry about itself and stay on track and get as many wins as possible heading into this playoff?
Yeah, just not look too far ahead. Take it game by game, block out the outside noise, and just remain and stick together. Stick together and I just feel like this group is an amazing group, and just don't get too ahead of ourselves and just keep our head down and play hard. I feel like can't nobody stop us if we do that.
Big thanks to Jamal, Casey Sayles, James Butler, and Coach O for being on the show. Ticats fans, in partnership with Around the Bay Road Race, Hamilton Wentworth District School Board and Hamilton Wentworth Catholic District School Board are running the Race to the Cup presented by First Ontario. This event will promote health and fitness for 2,000 students and will be 1 kilometer in distance. So that'll go from Gage Park to Tim Hortons Field. So for more information, go to greycupfestival.ca/events. That's all the time for me today. I want to thank you for listening to Ticats Today.